Your car is essentially a highly complex, coordinated, rolling ecosystem of mechanical and electronic components. To the uninitiated, popping the hood looks like staring at a confusing maze of metal, wires, and tube, accompanied by a vocabulary that sounds like a completely foreign language. But underneath that intimidation factor, every single part has a precise, logical mission you moving down the highway. Welcome to Gearbox Genesis. Today, we are breaking down the wall of confusing automotive jargon to give you a definitive, forensic masterclass on the most essential car terms, how they work, and the shocking engineering secrets hidden right under your dashboard. If you want to master the mechanics, unlock grids of automotive engineering, and finally understand exactly what your mechanic is talking about every single week, hit that subscribe button right now. Join our community of gearheads as we decode the machine. Let's start with the component that keeps your car from sounding like a battlefield. 1. Muffler. The sound canceller your engine is a controlled explosion machine. Explosions are inherently violent and loud. Tucked at the tail end of your exhaust system, the muffler's primary job is to quiet that chaos. Rather than simply blocking the sound wave, the inside of a muffler is engineered with a complex network of chambers and perforated tube. As sound waves travel through these pathways, they are forced to bounce against one another at specific angles, physically canceling each other out. It is the exact same mechanical principle that modern noise-canceling headphones built out of solid steel. 2. Horsepower. The historical marketing trick horsepower is the metric that tells us how much work an engine can perform over a specific period of time. A common misconception is that 1 horsepower equals the maximum output of a single horse. In reality, it started as a brilliant 18th century marketing tactic by Scottish engineer James Watt. To convince coal mines to buy his new steam engine, he calculated that a mine horse could move 33,000 foot-pound work per minute. Watt intentionally underestimated the true power of a real horse, so his engines would look vastly superior on paper. The name stuck, and it remains our universal standard for speed. 3. Serpentine belt. The engine's snake derived from the Latin word serpent, meaning snake. The serpentine belt is a long, continuous rubber loop that winds intricately through your engine bay. Driven by the rotation of the crankshaft, this single belt snakes around multiple pulleys to simultaneously provide mechanical power to your alternator, power steering pump, air conditioning compressor, and water pump. Before its invention, cars relied on a messy web of multiple independent belts. The serpentine system simplified engine architecture into one highly efficient. 4. Radiator. The heat dump when you pump gasoline into your car. A staggering 65% of every dollar spent is completely lost, pure, wasted heat. Because internal combustion engines only convert about 30 to 35% of fuel energy into actual movement, the remaining thermal energy trapped inside the metal block would instantly melt the engine without a radiator. The radiator acts as a massive heat exchange, receives boiling coolant that has traveled through the engine block, passes it through ultra-thin aluminum fin, and uses oncoming highway air to dump that heat direct to the atmosphere. 5. ECU. The electronic brain, the engine control unit. ECU is the undisputed brain of a modern. Rather than thinking creatively, it acts as a hyper-fast data processor. Your car is wired with hundreds of localized, constantly reading the outside air temperature, fuel pressure, throttle position, and exhaust oxygen level. The ECU processes this data and makes critical adjustments such as varying fuel injector spray timing and managing spark plug ignition thousands of times every single second to balance performance. 6. Catalytic converter. The precious metal vault, the catalytic converter, is part of your exhaust system designed to clean up toxic engine byproducts like carbon monoxide and unburnt hydrocarbons before they exit the tailpipe. Inside the metal shell sits a ceramic honeycomb structure coated with rare, ultra-precious metals, platinum, palladium, and rhodium. These metals trigger a high-heat chemical reaction that splits harmful molecules apart, turning them into harmless water vapor and carbon dioxide. Because these internal metals are incredibly valuable, they have become a prime target for black market thieves globally. 7. Alternate. The onboard generator. While many drivers, the car battery runs the electronics while driving, the battery's only major job is to start the engine. Once the car is running, the alternator takes over. Driven by the serpentine belt, the alternator acts as a localized electrical generator, transforming the mechanical spinning of the engine usable alternating current electricity. It powers your headlights, radio, and climate control while simultaneously pushing power back into the battery to keep it fully charged for your next startup. 8. OBD and the check engine light. The check engine light is the most feared warning on a dashboard, primarily because it offers no immediate context. It is triggered by the onboard diagnostic system, or OBD. This internal monitor constantly evaluates vehicle health. When a sensor reports data outside of normal parameters, the system stores a specific alphanumeric trouble code. Mechanics use a digital scanner plugged into the standardized OBD port mandatory on all cars built after 1996 to read these codes and immediately isolate the malfunction. 9. Chassis. The mechanical skeleton, the chassis, structural foundation that holds a vehicle together, supporting the weight of the engine, transmission, suspension, passenger. In the early days of automotive design, chassis were constructed from heavy wood and copied directly from horse-drawn carriages. Modern automotive manufacture relies heavily on a unibody design, where the chassis and the exterior body panels are stamped together into a single, ultra-stiff steel or aluminum shell to maximize passenger safety and minimize curb weight. 10. Differential. The cornering equation when a car navigates a turn. The outside wheel must travel a significantly longer physical distance than the inside wheel. If both wheels were locked together on a solid axle, the tires would violently skip, bind, and eventually snap the axle under stress. The differential is a brilliant gear assembly sitting between the driven wheels that perfectly splits engine power while allowing each wheel to rotate at completely different. This mechanical concept isn't a modern breakthrough. It was used in ancient Chinese chariots over 2,000 years ago. 11. Transmission. The power messenger and internal combustion engine can only spin efficiently within a specific, narrow RPM window. The transmission acts as the vital intermediary between the engine's output and the drive wheel. Whether it's a manual operated via a mechanical clutch, a traditional hydraulic automatic, or a continuously variable transmission that uses a steel belt and adjustable pulleys to provide an infinite variation of gear ratio, the transmission ensures the engine provides maximum power at low speeds and low fuel consumption at high speed. Drive closer every time you turn your key or press the start button. Thousands of synchronized mechanical decisions are made beneath you in a fraction of a second. Understanding these terms transforms your car from an intimidating black box into a beautifully logical symphony of human ingenuity. If this quick breakdown of essential automotive engineering term cleared up the mystery under your hood, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with a friend who is learning to drive, and click that subscribe button right now. Join the Gearbox Genesis community in the comments below and tell us which of these car parts or terms has always confused you the most. We read and reply to every single comment. Thank you for watching, keep learning, and we will see you in the next breakdown.